Hello, I'm Aaron Ohosa. This week's is Ben's Vision, the third before Bison, before the Mehistaje, the frontiers of race and the caste system in colonial Mexico. The question written down: how does the Ben Bison challenge the common idea of the Mehistaje by showing that race in colonial Mexico was shaped by the caste hierarchy and a lived experience rather than simple racial mixture. He kind of explains it in my point of view that, it's not so much like a foreign, like a different dimension. It's just like, it's a reality to them. It's just like a slow life, just like slow life to us, just how people kind of just shun, how they kind of just say, you shouldn't be doing those things, but they don't say that, when you're at school or you're at work or you're trying to show the better side of you. It's more something that's behind closed doors of racial mixing, and maybe people that own businesses might not want to hire these people because of stereotypes and different reasons in the caste system. With the Espanol, the whites or the Spanish would be the highest, and then the Mestizo, the mixed Spanish, and then the Indians or the Native Americans, and then the mulatto, the Spanish and African, and then it was the natives, and then it was the blacks, and or the African Americans, and then just like modern day, that the wealth, occupation, marriage, and then reputations, just around community, and then just stereotypes that they have to live with just by being born into. And then he goes and talks about how a lot of kind of their unions and their ways of getting stuff done and having backings was through the church, and their groups, and how the church was kind of like maybe unions of the 90s or something that we could relate to, of the work unions, and these unions would take care of each other. And that was pretty interesting to me, of how these unions were kind of their own little communities. That's where it was through the church, not through work or HR, right? It was more through the church, and how they're divided, and how different people got different opportunities. And that was just kind of what I saw was a big takeaway, and how how life was back then, and how these people had to deal with moving forward in life, and making the best for themselves, and trying, not because they're evil or corrupt people, but that's just how life was. And there were slaves back then, and some slaves would kind of get more mistreatment than others, and maybe it was just because of race, and it was just because these people just people fear what they don't understand, and they don't understand sometimes as simple as why one's skin does not look the same as mine, and that might become fear, or become jealousy, or become disgust. It becomes all these things, and the mind's a very strong place. And that was one of the things. And sometimes being ugly propelled the the Spanish to be harder on their slaves, and some black slaves that had more money were more caring and understanding and viewed them more as people, just as maybe people with butlers nowadays. Maybe some wealthy individuals are not as sweet to their butlers as others that maybe have come from poverty. That's my takeaway. Thank you, and I hope my video was better this time. Thank you, sir.